The alarm bells rang across Luna Station like the end of the world was coming. Admiral Jack Morrison ran down the metal hallway, his boots making loud sounds on the floor. He could hear people shouting orders and running everywhere. Something big was happening. Jack reached the command center and stopped. The giant screen on the wall showed space near Earth. But space was not empty anymore. 300 alien ships floated there like angry metal clouds. They were all different shapes and sizes. Some looked like giant spears, others like floating cities, and a few looked like nothing Jack had ever seen before. "How long have they been there?" Jack asked his second-in-command, Captain Ryan Hughes. 20 minutes, sir. They just appeared out of nowhere, all at once." Jack stared at the screen. 300 ships. That was more alien ships than humans had ever seen in one place. Each ship probably had hundreds or thousands of aliens inside. This was not a visit. This was an invasion force. A young officer ran up to Jack. "Sir, we're getting a message from them. They want to talk to our leader." "Put it on the main screen," Jack said. The image changed. Now they could see inside one of the alien ships. A creature stood in front of them. It had gray skin, 6 arms, and eyes that glowed red. When it spoke, a computer changed its words into English. "I am Ambassador Zekathara of the Vorthak Empire. I speak for the Galactic Council. We have come to give humanity a final warning." Jack felt his hands turn into fists. The Galactic Council was like a group of alien governments that worked together. They thought they owned most of the galaxy. They had told humans many times to stay in their own small part of space and not explore too much. "Humanity has broken our laws," the alien continued. "You have built colonies where you should not. You have made weapons we did not approve. You have refused to obey our rules. This cannot continue." The alien's red eyes seemed to look right at Jack through the screen. "The Galactic Council has decided. Humanity must surrender completely. You will destroy all your weapons. You will abandon all colonies outside your home system. You will accept our control over your planet and your people." Jack's heart started beating faster. This was exactly what every human leader had feared would happen someday. "You have 36 hours to surrender," Zekathara said. "If you refuse, we will destroy every human ship, every human colony, and every human city. We will wipe your species from the galaxy. This is not a threat. This is a promise." The screen went black. The command center was quiet for a moment. Then everyone started talking at once. Jack raised his hand and everyone stopped. "Get me Dr. Lisa Carter," he said. "And get me President Brooks on a secure line now." While his officers worked, Jack looked at the alien ships on the screen again. 300 ships from 12 different alien species. The Council had brought everyone to this fight. They really meant to end humanity if humans did not give up everything. 10 minutes later, Dr. Lisa Carter's face appeared on a smaller screen. She was the head of the Colonial Defense Initiative, the secret group that planned how to protect human colonies. She looked calm, but Jack could see worry in her eyes. "Lisa, you're seeing this?" Jack asked. "Yes. I'm already activating all defense protocols. How long do we have?" 36 hours. Lisa nodded. "That's actually more time than we expected they would give us." Jack was surprised. "You expected this?" "Jack, we've been planning for this day for 50 years. Ever since we first met the Council, we knew they would try to control us or destroy us. The question was never if, but when." Another screen lit up. President Helen Brooks appeared. She was in the White House Situation Room, surrounded by her top advisors and military leaders. "Admiral Morrison, Dr. Carter, what's our status?" the president asked. "Madam President, the Council has given us an ultimatum. Complete surrender or total war," Jack said. "And our response?" Dr. Carter spoke. "We implement Protocol Prometheus, all of it." The president was quiet for a moment. Protocol Prometheus was the most secret plan in human government. Only a few dozen people knew what it really meant. "Are you sure we're ready?" the president asked. "We've been ready for 20 years, Lisa said. "Every colony has been prepared. Every ship has been upgraded. Every defensive position has been built. The aliens think they're attacking weak humans who just learned to fly in space. They have no idea what we really are. Jack watched the alien ships on his screen. They were just sitting there waiting. They thought humans would spend the next 36 hours panicking and arguing and maybe begging for mercy. They were wrong. "Captain Hughes," Jack called. "Yes, sir." "Send a message to all Black Ops teams. Tell them it's time to show the galaxy why you don't declare war on humanity." Ryan smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Yes, sir." They've been waiting for this order for a long time. Across human space, secret messages began moving between colonies, ships, and hidden bases. Humans had learned something important from studying their own history. The best way to win a war was to be ready for it before it started. The Galactic Council thought they were about to destroy a young, weak species. Instead, they had just woken up something that had been waiting in the dark for 50 years, preparing for exactly this moment. The 36-hour countdown had begun. But the aliens had made their first mistake. They had given humanity time to strike first. The first alien attack came at dawn on New Denver Colony. Colonel Steve Parker was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm system started screaming. He dropped his cup and ran to the command bunker, knowing this day would change everything. "How many ships?" he asked his communications officer as he reached the underground control room. 15 battlecruisers, sir. They just came out of hyperspace. Big ones." Steve looked at the display screen. The alien ships were huge, each one the size of a city block. They had smooth, curved hulls that gleamed like metal pearls in the starlight. These were Xanthari warships built for destroying planets. "Are they talking to us?" Steve asked. "Yes, sir. They're demanding we surrender immediately, or they'll blow up the whole colony." Steve almost laughed. The aliens really thought this would be easy. They thought human colonies were just groups of scared farmers and miners with no way to fight back. "Tell them we refuse," Steve said, "and activate Defense Plan Alpha." His officers looked surprised. Defense Plan Alpha was something they had, practiced for years but never used. It would turn their peaceful mining colony into something very different. "Sir, are you sure?" asked Lieutenant Katie Sullivan, the young pilot who led their fighter squadron. "Do it," Steve said firmly. All across New Denver Colony, things started happening that the aliens above could not see. Hidden panels slid open in the ground. Buildings that looked like ordinary houses and shops began changing shape. What the aliens thought was a helpless mining colony was actually a military fortress that had been disguised for 20 years. The first alien battlecruiser fired its main weapon at the colony's power plant. A bright blue beam of energy shot down from space, hot enough to melt steel. But instead of destroying the building, the beam hit an energy shield and bounced away harmlessly. Inside the alien ship, the Xanthari commander was confused. How did these primitive humans have shield technology that could stop their most powerful weapons? "Fire all weapons," the alien commander ordered. "Destroy everything." 15 battlecruisers opened fire at once. Hundreds of energy beams rained down on New Denver like deadly lightning. But every shot hit the same invisible barriers and did no damage at all. Then the colony fired back. What looked like ordinary hills around the settlement suddenly opened up like giant flowers. Inside were missile launchers, railguns, and energy cannons. The weapons were all connected by underground tunnels and powered by a fusion reactor buried deep beneath the colony. The first wave of human missiles reached the alien fleet in 30 seconds. But these were not ordinary missiles. Each one carried a small nuclear warhead and a computer brain that could think for itself. The aliens tried to shoot down the missiles with their defense guns. They destroyed half of them, but the other half reached their targets and exploded against the alien hulls. 3 battle cruisers died in the first minute of the fight. "Impossible," the Xanthari commander said as he watched his ships burning. "How do they have such weapons?" He did not know that humans had been preparing for this war for 50 years. Every colony looked peaceful on the surface, but underneath they were all fortresses. Every human settlement was connected to every other settlement by quantum communication arrays that worked faster than light. Major Katie Sullivan launched her fighter squadron from hidden hangars built inside the colony's mountains. 20 small, fast ships rose into space to join the battle. They were painted black and designed to be almost invisible to alien sensors. The alien pilots had never seen anything like human fighters before. The small ships moved in perfect coordination like they were all controlled by one mind. They fired missiles that could change direction in mid-flight and think for themselves about which targets to hit. More alien ships exploded. The battle lasted 18 hours. When it was over, all 15 alien battlecruisers were dead. Pieces of burning metal floated in space above New Denver, like a graveyard of failed conquest. The colony had lost 3 buildings and 7 people. The aliens had lost 15,000 soldiers. Colonel Steve Parker sent a message to Earth Fleet Command. New Denver to Command. First alien attack repelled. Enemy force completely destroyed. We are ready for the next wave. Similar battles were happening all across human space. The aliens had attacked 12 colonies at the same time, thinking they could scare humanity into surrender by destroying the frontier settlements. Instead, every attack failed. Every alien task force was wiped out. Every human colony proved to be much more dangerous than it looked. General Paul Mitchell watched the battle reports coming in from his command center on Mars. Every report said the same thing. The aliens were losing badly. They still don't understand, he said to his staff. They think we're the same humans they met 50 years ago. They don't know we've been getting ready for this. The truth was that humans had learned from every war in their history. They had studied how other species fought and found ways to beat them. They had built weapons the aliens had never seen and developed tactics the aliens could not understand. Most importantly, humans had built their entire civilization around the idea that someday they would have to fight for their survival. Every human child learned how to use weapons. Every human adult knew how to fight. Every human settlement was designed to be a fortress if needed. The Galactic Council's second mistake was thinking this would be a quick war. They thought they could destroy a few colonies and humans would give up. But humans did not give up. Ever, as the reports kept coming in. General Mitchell smiled. The aliens had started this war to stop human expansion across the galaxy. Instead, they had just given humanity a reason to expand much faster and much further than ever before. The war was just beginning and humanity was already winning. 3 weeks after the first alien attacks failed, everything had changed. The war that was supposed to destroy humanity in days had become humanity's march across the galaxy. Commander Tony Garcia stood on the bridge of his stealth ship, looking at the biggest target humans had ever attacked. The Kepler yard stretched across space like a metal city. This was where the Galactic Council built their biggest warships. Massive construction platforms floated in perfect lines, each one the size of a mountain. Robot arms moved back and forth, building new battlecruisers and dreadnoughts. Thousands of alien workers lived and worked in the spinning habitat rings that surrounded the shipyards. How many ships are they building? Tony asked his intelligence officer. Our scans show 200 ships in various stages of construction, sir, plus about 50 completed warships guarding the facility. Tony smiled grimly. The aliens were trying to build more ships to replace the ones humans had already destroyed. They still thought this was a normal war where both sides would fight for years and slowly wear each other down. They were wrong. Signal the fleet, Tony said. All ships, begin the attack. What the aliens guarding the Kepler yards could not see was that 800 human ships had surrounded them. The humans had new technology that made their ships almost invisible. They could jump through space faster than alien sensors could track them. The attack began with Captain Amy Rodriguez, leading her bomber squadron straight into the heart of the shipyards. Her pilots flew small, fast ships loaded with the most powerful explosives humans had ever built. Remember, Amy told her pilots over the radio, we're not just destroying ships. We're destroying their ability to build new ones. Hit the construction, platforms first, then the completed ships. The human bombers appeared out of nowhere like ghosts materializing in space. The alien defenders tried to shoot them down, but the human ships moved too fast and too unpredictably. They twisted and turned through space like dancers, avoiding the alien weapons while delivering their deadly cargo. The first construction platform exploded in a ball of fire that could be seen from 1,000,000 miles away. Then the second. Then the third. In 10 minutes, 20 years of alien construction work was turning into glowing debris. Admiral Jake Thompson commanded the main battle fleet that engaged the alien defenders. His ships were bigger and more heavily armed than anything humans had built before. They used weapons that the aliens had never seen. "Fire the quantum disruptors," Admiral Thompson ordered. Dr. Ben Lewis had spent 5 years developing these weapons. They did not just destroy enemy ships. They created cascade failures that spread from ship to ship through the aliens' own communication networks. When one ship died, it sent a signal that could kill other ships nearby. The alien fleet defending the Kepler yards learned about this the hard way. When the first alien battlecruiser exploded, it sent a quantum signal to the ship next to it. That ship's computers crashed, its weapons stopped working, and its engines shut down. Then it sent the same signal to the next ship. In 30 minutes, the entire alien defense fleet was either destroyed or helpless, but the humans were not finished. This attack was bigger than just destroying one shipyard. It was about sending a message to every alien species in the galaxy. Captain Nicole White commanded the deep strike teams that hit targets all across Council space. While the main fleet attacked the Kepler yards, her ships jumped to 12 different star systems and struck at the same time. Communication centers exploded, supply depots burned, military headquarters turned into smoking craters. The aliens had thought their important facilities were safe because they were far from human space. They were wrong about that too. "How are they doing this?" asked General Korath, the Zenthari military commander, as he watched reports of attacks coming in from everywhere at once. "How can they be in so many places?" His aide checked the tactical displays. "Sir, it appears they have improved our own jump drive technology. Their ships can travel faster and more accurately than ours." Korath felt something he had never felt before in his long military career. Fear. The humans were not fighting like any species the Council had ever faced. They struck everywhere at once, then disappeared before the aliens could respond. The battle for the Kepler yards lasted 72 hours. When it was over, the largest military construction facility in the galaxy was a field of glowing wreckage. Every ship, every platform, every weapon had been destroyed, but the human fleet had not lost a single ship. Commander Marcus Brown led the cleanup operations, making sure no alien survivors could send information about human tactics back to their leaders. His job was to ensure that the Council learned as little as possible about how humans fought. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're getting surrender signals from 17 alien vessels that tried to escape the battle." "Tell them to shut down their engines and prepare to be boarded," Marcus said. "Anyone who tries to run will be destroyed." The aliens were learning that humans did not fight like civilized species. When humans went to war, they did not just try to win battles. They tried to make sure their enemies could never fight them again. News of the disaster at the Kepler yard spread across the galaxy faster than the aliens could control it. Every Council species realized that the war they had started was not going the way they had planned. The humans were not defending themselves anymore. They were hunting. General Paul Mitchell received the final report from the Kepler operation while sitting in his command center on Mars. 800 human ships had struck the heart of alien military production and destroyed it completely. "What's our next target?" he asked his staff. "Intelligence suggests we hit their command centers next, sir. Cut off their ability to coordinate their remaining forces." Paul nodded. The aliens had made their third mistake when they tried to retreat and regroup. They thought humans would give them time to recover, but humans had studied their own history. They knew that the only way to end a war quickly was to never let the enemy rest, never let them rebuild, and never give them hope that they could still win. The galaxy was about to learn why declaring war on humanity was the biggest mistake the Council had ever made. 6 months into the war, the galaxy had learned to fear the sound of human ships jumping into their systems. Colonel Marcus Brown sat in his command chair aboard the orbital bombardment vessel Thunder, watching another alien world surrender without a fight. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the planet's surface," his communications officer reported. The Vorthak planetary governor wants to negotiate. Marcus looked at the blue and green world spinning below them. 3 million Vorthak civilians lived there, along with about 50,000 soldiers who were supposed to defend the system. But the soldiers had seen what happened to other worlds that tried to fight humans. "Put him through," Marcus said. The holographic display showed a tall, gray-skinned alien with 6 arms and glowing red eyes. Governor Veltar looked tired and afraid. "Human commander," the alien said through the universal translator. "We surrender. Please do not destroy our cities. We have families here, children." Marcus nodded. This was exactly what humans wanted to hear. "Governor, your military installations will be destroyed. Your warships will be captured or eliminated. But your civilians will not be harmed if you cooperate fully. What do you want us to do?" "Evacuate all military personnel from their bases. Turn over all weapons and defense systems. Allow our inspection teams full access to your facilities. Do this, and your people will live." The alien governor's shoulders sagged with relief. Yes, we will do this. Thank you for your mercy." The transmission ended. Marcus turned to his weapons officer. "Target their orbital defense platforms first. Use precision strikes only. No damage to civilian areas." This was how the war worked now. The aliens had tried to use their civilian populations as shields, thinking humans would not attack if innocent people might be hurt. They learned quickly that humans had prepared for this too. Commander Sandra Hayes led the humanitarian evacuation teams that worked alongside the military strikes. Her ships were equipped with advanced medical facilities and transport systems. When human forces attacked a world, Sandra's teams were already there to help civilians get to safety. "Commander Hayes to Orbital Command," she reported from the planet's surface. "We have successfully evacuated 12,000 civilians from the military zones. No casualties reported." The human approach to warfare confused the aliens completely. Humans could destroy entire fleets and level military bases with incredible precision, but they went out of their way to protect non-combatants. This was not how wars were usually fought in the galaxy. Dr. Rachel King watched the weapons test from a safe distance on the research station. Her team had spent 2 years developing nanotechnology weapons that could disable entire planet's infrastructure without killing anyone. "Activate the nanobots," she ordered. Millions of microscopic robots spread out from the test facility like an invisible cloud. They found every computer system, every power grid, every communication network on the test planet. In 6 hours, all technology on the world stopped working, but every living thing was completely unharmed. "Perfect," Dr. Rachel said. "We can shut down entire civilizations without firing a shot." This was humanity's newest weapon. Any alien world that refused to surrender could have all their technology disabled instantly. No power, no communications, no transportation, no weapons, just primitive life and the choice to surrender or starve. Admiral Chris Davis commanded the blockade fleets that surrounded every major alien world. His ships formed invisible nets around entire solar systems. Nothing moved in or out without human permission. "Sir, we're intercepting another supply convoy trying to reach the Zenthari home world," reported Captain Greg Miller, who led the interdiction squadrons. "Standard procedure," Admiral Davis replied. "Board the ships, confiscate any military supplies, and send the rest back where they came from." The economic warfare was working perfectly. Within 6 months, alien civilizations that had existed for thousands of years found themselves unable to trade, unable to communicate with other worlds, and unable to maintain their military forces. The Galactic Council had not just lost they had lost their entire way of life. President Helen Brooks addressed the galaxy from her office in Washington. The message was broadcast on every alien communication network that humans had not shut down. "To the peoples of the galaxy," she began. "6 months ago, your leaders declared war on humanity. They demanded our surrender and threatened to destroy our civilization. Today, your military forces no longer exist. Your weapons have been captured or destroyed. Your ability to wage war has been eliminated." She paused, letting the words sink in across 1,000 worlds. "But we are not your enemies. We never were. Your leaders feared human expansion and tried to stop it through violence. Now you see the result. We could have destroyed your worlds, eliminated your species, and taken everything you have. We chose not to. On alien worlds across the galaxy, billions of non-human beings watched the human president speak. Many had never seen a human before this war began. The fighting stops now, President Brooks continued. Any world that surrenders will be protected. Any government that cooperates will be allowed to continue governing their people. Any species that accepts the new reality will find humans to be fair and reasonable neighbors. But any world that continues to resist will face the full power of human technology. We have weapons that can shut down your civilizations without killing anyone. We have fleets that can blockade entire sectors. We have the ability to make your continued resistance impossible. The message was clear. Surrender now, or face technological and economic collapse. General Robert Kane established the new military command structure from his headquarters on Luna. Former Council species could keep small defense forces for local security, but all interstellar military capabilities would be controlled by humans. Sir, his aide reported, we're receiving surrender offers from 9 more star systems today. That brings the total to 47 systems that have accepted human oversight. Robert nodded. The psychological impact was working exactly as planned. Every alien species could see that resistance was hopeless. They could also see that humans kept their promises about protecting civilians and allowing local governance. What about the holdout systems? Robert asked. 3 systems are still trying to organize resistance, sir. Intelligence suggests they're planning some kind of last stand. Robert looked at the strategic display showing the galaxy. Most of it was now colored blue, indicating human control or cooperation. Only a few red dots remained, representing the worlds that still thought they could fight. Let them try, he said. When they see what happens to the last resistors, the rest of the galaxy will understand that the age of the Galactic Council is over. The age of human leadership has begun. The war had become something unprecedented in galactic history. Complete. Victory in less than a year, achieved through overwhelming technological superiority, precise military action, and psychological warfare that convinced entire civilizations to surrender rather than face destruction. The aliens had declared war to stop human expansion. Instead, they had given humanity control of the entire galaxy. 1 year after the Galactic Council declared war on humanity, Ambassador Julie Parker stood in the Great Hall of what used to be the Council's main headquarters. Today, it would become something entirely different. Representatives from 12 alien species sat at tables arranged in a perfect circle, each one waiting to sign the document that would change the galaxy forever. The surrender accords were simple. Every species that had declared war on humanity would give up their right to build weapons that could threaten other worlds. They would accept human monitoring of their technology development. They would join a new organization called the Terran Federation, with humans as the leading species. The ceremony will now begin, Julie announced to the gathering. Her voice was translated into 12 different alien languages simultaneously. The first to sign was Ambassador Zekthara, the same Vorthak who had delivered the original ultimatum to humanity. His 6 arms shook slightly as he put his name on the treaty. He looked very different from the proud alien who had threatened to destroy humanity just 1 year ago. On behalf of the Vorthak Empire, he said quietly, I accept the terms of surrender and pledge our loyalty to the Terran Federation. One by one, each alien representative signed the document. Some looked angry, some looked sad. All of them looked defeated. They had learned that declaring war on humanity was the biggest mistake their species had ever made. President Helen Brooks watched the ceremony from her office on Earth. The entire event was being broadcast across the galaxy, so every intelligent being could see the new reality. The age of alien dominance was over. The age of humanity had begun. Madam President, her aide said, the last signature has been completed. The surrender accords are now in effect. Helen nodded. Begin phase 2 of the integration process. I want human advisors on every former council world within 60 days. The integration process was something humans had planned for decades. It was not enough to win the war. Humanity had to win the peace that followed. That meant making sure the defeated aliens became productive members of human civilization instead of future enemies. General Robert Kane stood before a group of former alien military officers on the planet Zenthar Prime. These beings had once commanded fleets that threatened human colonies. Now they were learning how to serve in the new galactic order. "You have two choices," Robert told them through the universal translator. "You can accept positions in the new integrated defense forces, or you can return to civilian life. But your old jobs as independent military commanders no longer exist." A tall Zenthari general raised his hand. "What guarantee do we have that humans will treat us fairly?" Robert smiled. "The same guarantee you gave humanity when you declared war on us, none. The difference is that we have proven we keep our promises. When we said we would protect civilians, we did. When we said we would allow local governments to continue, we did. When we said we would not destroy your worlds if you surrendered, we kept that promise too." The alien officers looked at each other. They had expected to be executed or imprisoned after losing the war. Instead, humans were offering them jobs in the new military structure. Captain Amy Rodriguez led the training programs that taught alien pilots how to fly alongside human forces. Her students were former enemies who now had to learn human tactics and technology. "Remember," she told a group of Vorthak pilots, "you are no longer fighting against other species. You are part of a unified force that protects all species in the galaxy. Your job is to keep the peace, not to wage war." The alien pilots practiced formations with human fighters. It was strange to see former enemies working together, but it was necessary. The new galactic order required cooperation between all species. Dr. Ben Lewis established research centers on every major alien world. These facilities had two purposes. First, they monitored alien technology development to make sure no one was secretly building weapons. Second, they helped alien scientists contribute to human research projects. "The quantum physics research on Zenthar Prime is actually quite advanced," he reported to his supervisors on Earth. "With proper guidance, their scientists could help us develop even better space travel technology." This was part of humanity's long-term strategy. Instead of simply suppressing alien knowledge, humans wanted to use it to make human civilization even stronger. On Earth, children in schools learned about the war and its aftermath. They studied how humanity had gone from a single planet to the rulers of the galaxy in just 50 years. They learned about the importance of being prepared, of working together, and of never giving up when facing impossible odds. But they also learned about responsibility. With great power came the duty to protect those who were weaker. Humans now controlled the galaxy, which meant they had to take care of everyone in it. Commander Tony Garcia established the new patrol routes that human ships would follow throughout the galaxy. His job was to make sure no alien species tried to rebuild their military forces in secret. "Sir, we've detected some unusual energy readings from the Kepler system," one of his officers reported. "Investigate immediately," Tony ordered, "and remind the local government that any unauthorized technology development will result in immediate intervention." The patrols were not just about preventing rebellion. They were about maintaining the peace that humanity had created through overwhelming victory. 5 years after the surrender, Ambassador Julie Parker visited the memorial that had been built on the site of the first alien attack. It honored both the humans who had died defending their colonies and the aliens who had died in the failed invasion. "War is a terrible thing," she said to the mixed crowd of humans and aliens who had gathered for the memorial service. "It destroys lives, breaks families, and leaves scars that last for generations. The war that brought us here could have been avoided if the Council had chosen cooperation instead of conquest." She looked at the alien representatives in the crowd. Many of them were now friends and colleagues, working alongside humans to build a better galaxy. But from this terrible war, something good has emerged. We have learned that different species can work together. We have built a civilization that protects everyone, not just the strongest. We have created peace through strength, and we have proven that strength without wisdom leads only to destruction. The memorial ceremony ended with humans and aliens standing together in silence, remembering the past and looking toward the future. The galaxy was at peace for the first time in centuries. Trade flowed freely between worlds. Technology advanced rapidly through cooperation between species. Children of different races played together on countless worlds. The Galactic Council had declared war on humanity to stop human expansion and preserve their own power. Instead, they had created something they never expected. They had forced humanity to reveal its true nature not as conquerors, but as protectors, not as destroyers, but as builders of a better tomorrow. The war was over. Humanity had won not just a military victory, but the right to shape the future of galactic civilization. And perhaps in the end that had been the plan all along.